Hey guys, this video is going to be my laying the foundation for 7.32, and this is how I'm going to be approaching every patch from now on. And the goal of this video is to begin you guys being able to track my progress throughout the course of the patch. So first, I want to show you guys that we're laying down some crucial foundation.
Banana slam jam.
So what I'm doing at the start of the patch to kind of like sift through all the chaos is I'm choosing 5 heroes in my 2 main roles, which is carry and offlane. I recommend you do the same thing for whatever your main role is. And I am going to predominantly pick these heroes, and I'm just going to kind of go down the list. So what I've done for each role is that I have selected a pool of heroes. For my main 2 roles, carry and offlane, I've selected 5 heroes each. And for my non-primary roles, I've selected 2 heroes each, Crystal Maiden being a flex between 4 and 5. And my goal to sift through all this chaos is to make it so that we can test heroes and just get a good idea of heroes I think are good, maybe a bit experimental, and then update you guys on the progress that I have made and anything I have learned since. So just a brief summary, the reason why I think these are the heroes for me to choose. I understand there's been a lot of heroes that have been buffed, guys, a lot of heroes that have been given new stuff. My goal is to basically playtest these heroes and move on, so we'll get to your heroes, I promise. Sven received a lot of quality of life buffs for his spells, as well as his laning stage, so I wanted to give him a shot. Sven felt okay. I tried Echo Saber, I tried Mask of Madness. I'm wanting to try Midas. The hero feels kind of clunky since you don't want to go to the Ancients because the small camp's gone. There's just much less farm to get in the triangle. I think he's much better on Dire, because you can stack the Dire camps in the jungle still, and I'd be leaning towards picking him there. But he does feel honestly decent. I would much rather have an active mid laner. So for whatever reason, I picked Sven today, and I got a Lycan mid and a Tinker mid, and the games felt really awkward. So I would encourage you guys to pick Sven in games where you already have an active mid, but I honestly feels pretty decent so far. So my builds were, Echo Saber, Blink, BKBs, Mask of Madness, Blink, BKBs, into standard Sven items like Silver Edge, Daedalus, Bloodthorn, AC, that kind of stuff. So Luna, her nighttime aura, I think is going to give momentum to her team while she farms. And then late game, she has her like old shard, so she scales better. Plus the new shard, so I think she will likely get a lead and then be able to scale better into the late game. I thought TB was already pretty good last patch, and they gave him some small buffs. Troll Warlord, they made it so his Ensnare was pierces BKB, which I think solves a lot of his matchups and makes him super hard counter some heroes like Jug and Nyx. And then my experimental pick for carry is Doom. They gave him better agility gain. They made it so you don't lose gold on Devour. Midas secures you a neutral drop at 7 minutes. He's a hero that likes to rush Midas, so he's my experimental pick. We'll see how that goes. For offlane, we're actually starting with 2 experimental picks, Undying and Witch Doctor. I actually think Undying, I've played him twice today. I'm pretty convinced already that this hero is really solid. We'll just go to my games real quick. So for laning items, I start the game with 2 Gauntlets of Strength, or just generally stat items. Against PA, really low base damage carry, I went for Stick to make sure I could sustain. Against Night Stalker carry, more of a high base damage carry, I went for Quelling Blade. But it's pretty straightforward from there. You build Soul Ring, Boots, Upgraded Boots, Wand, Raindrops. You want sustain items. And if you feel like the opponent leaves your lane, and you're getting harassed by like some support, you can go for like Vanguard, Hood, something to keep you alive or just sustain. But in general, you want to go as soon into Echo Saber, Blink, BKB, Ags. So like in this game, I went Midas because the game really slowed down. So if you feel like there's nothing to do, the problem with Undying is that he can't take towers and he can't gank. So what Undying does do really well is if the opponent ever tries to fight you or your team. So you can have heroes come to your lane, you can go to their lane, but if you feel like none of that's happening, I think Midas is the go-to. But I want Echo Saber, Ags, Blink, Shard as soon as possible. If the game's a little bit rough where they have a ton of damage, like in this one, they had PA plus Lycan, you can kind of go more utility. I went like Vlad's into Wraith Pact. More of like making sure, hey, plop down Tombstone, they can't find me. But I've had really good success with it. The reason why the hero is good now is because they made it so Decay doesn't make you lose HP after it expires. So every time you use Decay, it effectively is giving you 80 health. And that means that when you Soul Ring, you no longer have mana or health problems because you pay for the Soul Ring by getting the sustain from Decay. I also want to try Witch Doctor. He's kind of my meme offlane that I think has a chance of being good. Go for some mana regen-centric build and play around your heal. That is also now damage. So it gives him some good damage and also farm capabilities. And then Legion, the Blade Mail buff, the dual damage talent at 10. I want to give her a shot. Venomancer Shard really solves a lot of his bad matchups, so I want to try him. And then Venge got a lot of nice buffs as well, so I want to try her. For 5 position, Omni Knight has an insanely high win rate, and then he made it so his W purges him and the person he cast it on, which I think was a big problem in a lot of lanes. So I'm mainly going to try him 5. Maybe he's a 3, but for now I'm going to stick to him as 5. I think Crystal Maiden is super busted in pubs. They made it so her aura level 1 gives her like 50% more mana than she used to, and they also make it so the person in your lane is getting like 2.5 times as much regen from you. So I think she's going to be played with heavy harass heroes, and I think she can be played 5 or 4 for that reason. I'm going to be trying to go Q. I'm going to go 1-0-1 and then leave my aura at 1 point for a while and then max out my other 2 nukes. For mid, I actually think Ogre has a shot. I really want to try him out because they nerfed his base HP regen drastically, but they gave him 20 base damage. So because of Bottle in the mid lane, I think mid is actually potentially his best role, and I want to try him out. And then Leshrac, they buffed Bloodstone again, gave Leshrac base damage. They just keep making this hero stronger. They keep buffing the items he's buying. So I'm a huge Leshrac enjoyer. And then for 4 position, tons of Nyx Assassin buffs. And then the new Skywrath Mage Shard makes it so that it ticks on damage rather than spellcasting. It gives you armor and intelligence. With your ulti, it does it per tick, so you get a ton of armor and a ton of intelligence every time you ult somebody. That's the progress report for today, day 1 of the patch. We're started 4-1, so it's pretty good so far. Experiment with Undying. Whatever role I get stuck playing, these are the heroes I'm going to be picking, so I will continuously be updating you guys for the next few days. And then as the patch kind of settles, I'll make sure that we do these less and less often because we don't need to do them. But I'm going to make sure you guys are nice and fresh. So stay tuned. The next like maybe 4 or 5 videos on the channel, for the most part, will be giving you day-to-day updates on what I'm seeing in the meta, what I'm playing, and how it's going. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Easy first try. Never messed anything up live on Twitch. Thank you. Bye.